Today, we're going to look at Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, who served from 1801 until 1809. Thomas Jefferson was elected third President of the United States in 1800. He was the leader of the Democratic Republican Party. And if you recall, the Democratic Republican Party believed in a weak national government. One of Jefferson's main priorities was to reduce the size of the government. He cut the federal budget and reduced military spending. The word reduced means to make smaller. He repealed the whiskey tax and wanted all government funds to come from duties, which are taxes, on imports and exports. After Jefferson became president, he wanted to buy the city of New Orleans. The U.S. would pay as much as $10 million for it. Because the French leader Napoleon was at war with many European nations and needed money, he sold the entire Louisiana Territory to the United States for $15 million. It doubled the size of the U.S. and added 828,000 acres to the country. In 1804, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark were selected to lead an expedition to explore the Louisiana Territory. The goal of the Lewis and Clark expedition was to study plants, animals, and geography. They were also to be ambassadors to Indian tribes and bring messages of peace. And finally, they were to see if there was a northwest passage to the Pacific Ocean. They were eventually helped by an Indian guide, Sacagawea. She would help them explore and navigate all the way to the Pacific Ocean. In November of 1805, the expedition reached the Pacific Ocean. The Lewis and Clark expedition looked scientifically and critically at an area of land that had not yet been explored. It also introduced new Indian cultures. But most importantly, it set the stage for westward expansion and the settlement of the West. In 1803, conflict broke out again between Britain and France. In order to keep the United States neutral, Jefferson proposed an embargo on all trade. This was known as the Embargo Act of 1807. The only thing the Embargo Act of 1807 did was almost destroy the United States economy. It was eventually repealed. The final event of importance during Jefferson's presidency was the Supreme Court case of Marbury versus Madison. In Marbury versus Madison, Chief Justice John Marshall established the concept of judicial review. This is where the Supreme Court can rule laws unconstitutional. This means that no law can go against the Constitution. Now here's a political cartoon explaining judicial review. Chief Justice John Marshall's decision played a key role in making the Supreme Court a separate branch of government on par with Congress and the executive branch. To review, in his 2 terms as president, Thomas Jefferson expanded the United States with the Louisiana Purchase. He also reduced the nation's debt and kept the country out of expensive wars and preserved its neutrality. And for this is one of the reasons he is put on Mount Rushmore.